All right, first D point that we played against Northeastern from Smoky Mountain. We were expecting a vert stack out of these guys, so they kind of trick us a little bit by coming out with a first point split stack. So they got one over here, they got three, and then they're just going to put a person in the middle. All this person is doing is cutting deep to create space. That's going to let this person drive and get open for the first easy touch. You'll also see Levi kind of open up to help with this deep cut. And so that's what's going to lead to the first touch being pretty easy. Dewberry's person is coming across, and then I think Dewberry just prioritizes the break side a little too much. And then same thing with AK. We're trying a little too hard to cover the break side here. You can see in this screenshot right here, AK's momentum is very much this way. His person's also kind of with him this way, but his person's going to put their foot in the ground, get open for the easy touch on the force side, which is force backhand here. Next thing to watch here is Gunner's person is dropping their hips down. They're getting aggressive and making a hard move. Gunner, you can see him standing pretty tall here, so it's going to be really hard to defend when you're that tall. It's also going to be really hard to defend when you get picked and you don't call picks. So I think we could have used a pick call there, but we don't get it. I think we do pretty good here. Wyatt's going to hustle around and stop that continue. That's great hustle out of Wyatt. And then we're going to compete pretty good in this end zone set. Here, I think, forces backhand. Gunner's just on the wrong side of his person in this situation. But I do think we compete pretty good from here. That's pretty good effort from Wyatt. That's pretty good effort from AK. We're going to see a switch that Northeastern is smart about using this switch. So Gunner is attacking where the upline should be going. AK goes to the disc. The Northeastern player reads it. This is how you beat the switch. Just stop in that space, break the mark, and then they are just going to beat us to the cone. All right, second D point from the Northeastern game. So this is more of what we were expecting with the vert stack. They're going to run an interesting play out of it. They're going to send three people, just start busting three people out over here, and that's going to turn into a side stack. They're also going to flare one person out. So this vert stack is going to very quickly turn into a host stack, split stack, and they're going to create a big space in the middle. I think we do pretty well to cover it. I think as I look at LJ here, it's like LJ is in a good spot to contest the deep cut. We're not just blown up deep right off the bat, and I think we do pretty good to kind of close in. It's good to watch Nate here on this defensive reset, so I'll slow this one down. Nate just commits his hips way too early. You can see here he just commits his hips to the move he's about to bite on right now. And then he takes this hard step here, which this is where he's beat. Let's see if I can get the right frame. Right here. So this is the moment Nate is beat. So we could just use more shuffling. We could use more crossover stepping. We don't want to go straight from flat-footed to committed hips. I appreciate Nate being aggressive in the reset space, but I think we could do better. We could do better to keep our feet under us and shuffle a little bit longer. Bass is just going to lose a foot race here. And then we are jumping the time, so I don't know how we go from here to here, but we do. So I watched this one. Let's see. As I watch this one, I'm mostly just thinking would have been really nice to have Jedi's head on a swivel here. I think this goes right past Jedi's head. I think he has an angle to attack this. I think he could have gotten up in there and done something about it, but he's too locked into his person to see it. And this ball, I think, dangerously goes right past Jedi's head. So I would have loved to get a challenge on that one. We can watch Peter here. So Peter's doing a good job of being physical, right? He's bodying up and he's using that to kind of allow his head to drift into this backspace. The danger of being physical as a defender is when you whiff, right? So as we watch, let's see, as we watch Peter come through, he is going to whiff and end up on the break side of his person. So if we're physical, we got to be walling up, right? You're walling up to take something away. And if you whiff and let them have what you were supposed to be walling up, then that's just bad physicality, I think. I think LJ's just a little slow on this turn. So he's getting a little tall here. Would be nice to drop your hips. Also, his head is going before his hips are going. I think we could be faster on that turnaround. And then I think, you know, Nate, if you're going to flash to help Theo, then let's flash to help Theo because you could have just stuck that and helped us out all the way through. All right, third D point that we have recorded against Northeastern. So the action they're going to show us, pretty similar to what we saw from our scouting report. They wanted to play through the front of the stack. So we're going to see a move from the front of the stack here, and then we're going to see number 2 in the stack. It's hard to tell. I guess we always call that number 4 in the stack. So 4 in the stack is going to roll out and then bust deep, and then you're going to see the backhand huck go all the way out of bounds. But there's the action. So number 5 is going to the 4 side here, and then 4 is going to roll out, cut deep along this break side. And then we get picked, but it's a bad throw, and it's a turnover anyway. So we get a possession out of this. I love that our first throw is just to center the ball. I think that's smart. I think it could come out a little more decisively. I don't love seeing Seabass dance like this. So I would like a more decisive centering pass right off the bat. I don't think Gunner needs to come in to try to help. I think as Gunner comes in, he's risking just bringing another defender in here. Let's just let Bass work there. This is, I think, throwing to Seabass 101. So the thing about Bass is that he's a big dude, and we want to let big dudes kind of box people out. So it's really tempting to kind of just throw, it's really tempting, I think, to just try to throw the Frisbee right at Bass here, just hit him in the chest. But Levi does a really good job of, well, I'm going to throw him out to space, and then I'm going to let Bass run onto this, and then Bass is going to use his big body to box out this person. So I think that's a good lesson that we all could be learning from. It's a good job by Levi just putting it out in front of Bass. This is just a terrible huck. Things that I hate about this huck, obviously, there's nothing your receiver can do for you if you just throw the Frisbee out of bounds. I would have loved to see this Frisbee thrown somewhere over here. I also hate when Frisbee players are trying to throw the Frisbee into this space because all of this part is out of bounds. And if you miss, right, if you're 50-50 over the line, and if you miss, then there's nothing your receiver can do to help you out. If you just put it in the middle of the end zone, you just trust your receiver to go make a play. So I hate hucks that go out of bounds. I think they're just an absolute waste of a possession. I think that's too soft of a touch from Gunner. I think, you know, we are forced backhand here, so I think this is just a quick beat to the force side. I think this needs to be a layout from Wyatt. We can slow it down and look at it. But Wyatt's got this inside lane on this person, and he's got plenty of vision, right? Wyatt can see the disc right now. Wyatt should be laying out, I think, in this frame. I think that's a bad pull-up, a bad miss from Wyatt. Bass just loses a foot race here to the disc. And then Dewberry's going to do a really good job getting this block here. So you can see Dewberry closes in from the outside shoulder, gets the disc up in the air, and then great awareness out of Wyatt and the rest of the team to bring that ball down. Dewberry's been open for a long time. We're finally going to find him, and that's really good. This is going to be a really bad huck out of Austin Jin. So if we come back and look at it again, freeze it here. So AG is shooting for AG is going to end up shooting for this part of the field. I think if he just puts it right here, even if he just puts it on the dot right there, I think we would have been in a much better spot. Too much cross field effort. Doesn't really give us a chance to make a play on the ball. That one also feels like a waste of possession to me. So here they are in their vert stack again. I think we do pretty well on this defensive set also. Levi's in the lane. That takes them out of their initial look. Gets them into the dump right to the trap side. This is exactly what we want. Would be nice to have Gunner closing this space down a little more, but his person doesn't touch it. That's kind of a broken mark from Levi here. It's hard to see, but Levi's, that throw is going to go. I would call that to the break side. And then AG is going to make an incredible play. He's going to take outside shoulder. He's going to lay out without fouling the person. It's a very good play. He's injured though, so we bring in Ian. I think Levi's open here. I don't know why Ian looks this off. I think we should try to hit Levi on this move. I also think we should try to hit Seabass on this move. So I think those are two bad look-offs in a row. I think those look-offs slow us down and get us stagnant. But we get some motion going again. This is a really good throw from Bass out to space, away from the defender. And this one's hard to see. Ian's going to throw this hammer to Gunner, and I think that needs to be caught. Maybe the hand gets in there, but I think we could have attacked the disc better, gone to the Frisbee. I think that one probably should have been caught. I know it was a contested throw, but I think it should be caught. We just leave that person unguarded for a very long time. But we kind of recover, and we have our defense in place here. I think Gunner is just looking gassed on this one. So we are forced backhand. Gunner's very far onto the break side of his person. This is going to lead to a very easy force side touch for them. And then this is just a botch switch out of Ian and Wyatt. So Ian here, let's see, we'll back up a little further. So Ian's got his left hand up. He's trying to tell Wyatt, hey, switch with me, switch with me. We have not really practiced this at practice, so Wyatt's not ready for it. And Wyatt sticks his person, and Ian also comes under, and we just got a free runner. Free release to the end zone. Deep point against Northeastern. Creative pull from Nate, throwing it off to the side, make them run and go get it. They even bobble it. That's pretty nice. Good job by Nate. Here's the vert stack that we're expecting, and they are running a simple play that we're also expecting. So 5, the front of the stack, is going to roll out to the break side here, and then they're going to bust it deep. And the goal of this play is to get Nate, who's last back here, to think about helping on the deep cut so that this person can have a free release to the force side. They are going to get this free release to the force side, and then this person's going to break down and get a continue. So the disc is going to go like this. We can see that play out here. I want to back up a bit because I like the way Bana addresses this, and you can see it pretty good in this frame here. So Bana's player came out of the stack like this to the break side and then busted it deep. It's really tempting for a lot of young players to want to choo-choo train this, right? To follow the person to the break side and then follow them as they cut deep. And this is just how you get blown up deep. So Bana does a good job of finding like a hypotenuse or just a tangential angle, and he gets into this space. And I think that helps Bana not get just blown up into the deep space. I think the turn here could be a little better from Bana, but I'm glad that he didn't just get roasted deep. We're going to see LJ just get destroyed to the break side, to the force side here. So that's way too soft. But fortunately, the disc becomes a meatball. It would be really nice if Jacob could find the disc here, have your head on a swivel, recognize that there's just a duck in the air that needs to be put down. But we don't see it, and they come down with it. So I think, as I watch this one back, this is one that we for sure leave on the table. We get him in the end zone set, and we slow him down pretty good here. I think as I watch AK in this space, you know, AK is in a dangerous spot. This person could get on his back pretty easy, but AK does a really good job using his footwork and that little shuffle there to create a lot of, to keep the person in front of them from that and avoid letting them onto their back. This is a broken mark. I think that's well contested from AK. Here's where we're going to go for a roll, and Northeastern's going to beat our roll again. Really smart. So AK is going to the disc. Nate's trying to cover the space that the upline will be, and Northeastern does what you're supposed to do against a roll. Just sit down in this hole and receive a pass. It's a lot of moves AK has to guard. I think he does pretty well to keep the spaces small and compact. We just aren't able to finish, and that's the goal. 5th D point that we have against Northeastern. So they're coming out and they're 1-4 again. And we got a nice flat mark here. I think we do a really good job kind of absorbing whatever this play is. So this person's trying to make the first move in the middle of space. Nate's got a very active mark. So Levi's beat here, but it's the mark. Nate's going flat here, and he's very active, and he's getting wide and very aggressive mark that takes them out of whatever that play was. We're going to see, I think Jedi's in just such a good spot here, but then he just falls down, which really stinks. I think Jedi has an angle to go get that block if he doesn't trip. And then we're going to see here, so AK is going to do, he's taking the outside shoulder. And the advantage of taking the outside shoulder, so AK is the green arrow here, Northeastern is this red one, so AK is on the outside shoulder here. The advantage is that the thrower now has to throw kind of a tight window shot, right? If AK was on the inside, then the thrower could kind of just lay this out into space, let the person roll and go get to it. But since AK's outside shoulder, this throwing window suddenly becomes very narrow and very tight. So I think that taking the outside shoulder is what leads to this turnover. It just messes with the throwing window. As we get set up here, you can just like clearly see we've got, you should never be deep of whoever our initiating player is, right? So AK is going to initiate, and he is on this side. You can see the midline of the soccer field. So we've got Paul deep of him, and we've got Jedi deep of him, and that's just pulling defenders, right? So because of the way Paul set up, we got a defender here. Because of the way Jedi set up, we got a defender here. All of a sudden, we have 2 defenders on top of AK, and we have the defender rolling. You can see the defender is playing this no unders defense. So now we just have AK trying to make a whole bunch of moves. Really messes with us. Paul's going to do a nice job recognizing that his person right now is opening up their hips to try to help with Nate's move. So you can see that their hips are going this way. What they're afraid of is Nate's deep attack here. Their person is beat. So Paul's going to do a really good job of recognizing this really fast and just putting his foot in the ground and going and get it. I think I would have really liked for Paul to just throw this forehand around to Seabass. I might be just saying that because of hindsight bias, knowing what's about to happen, but we don't do a good job giving Paul a good look here. I think AK jogging on this clear, you can watch just like the clearing jog is a sign to your defender, like, oh, it's time to poach off because my person's just jogging away. I think a harder clear would have helped. I think, AK could just take this all the way to the house. There's nothing stopping him from pulling his player this way. There's nothing stopping him from just running harder this way. It's the jog that really kills us, allows the defender to turn around, see that. And now we're just going to get beat in a foot race to the end zone. So you can see we're just blown up. D point number 6 against Northeastern. This one is an easy bucket. So not a very good pull just to start off with. So we're in a tough field position already. What we're going to see is from the front of the stack, I think the play design is for this to go break side, but since we're forcing backhand here, this ends up the play design should be break side, but because we are forcing backhand, this ends up being a force side move that turns into a deep cut. And then you'll also see the next person in the stack kind of flare out this way. So they're doing a little split move to get going. And I think where we really break down is that this is just too soft of defense for me in. So as I look at this again, it's too easy of a move, and that power position is going to turn into a huck. And we can back up quick to talk about the huck. So you'll see Nate's guarding. This is the front of the stack person. They're making their horizontal move, about to bust it deep. We're on the force side here, so when I see Nate choo-choo train this, it's not the end of the world to me because we are on the force side. So I think in some scenarios it might make sense to choo-choo train that along the force side. On the break side, you should not be choo-choo training that. We're doing okay. Like we're in the body. We're underneath them. It could be good to get back shoulder on this. That might also just be hindsight from me. But Nate's fine right now. He is body to body. He's up in their personal space. As we go back, from here, Nate's person is just going to drag on a horizontal move like this, and then they are going to put their foot in the ground and attack the end zone. So very similar theme to a lot of stuff we've talked about before. There's the foot in the ground, boom, horizontal moves into vertical moves. Got to defend up lines better, and we just lose a foot race here to the end zone. All right, 7th D point that we've got against Northeastern. It's a long one, so buckle up. They are going with their... in my mind, this is a 1-4 split stack. They just have a person in the middle of the lane ready to activate. You could also think of this as a 1-1-3 or whatever. So they've shown us this before. The vision here is going to be this person is busting deep. Hopefully pulling a defender from this space, right? They're trying to get one of these players to do this and help deep. And that'll allow this person to get under. What's going to end up happening is Levi's going to kind of sit in the lane and try to junk things up, and they're going to be smart about it. This person will get the easy touch, and then Levi will clamp on. So end result, I think, is good. We're just moving the disc. We get them to move the disc to the trap side, and then we get our defense set up. So here's that deep cut. Here's that undercut. Here's Levi junking things up. Easy touch. Right now, everything's perfect, right? This is where we just got to latch up and play some defense. We got the disc on the trap side, and we do it. I think we play pretty good defense here. That's a broken mark all the way across the field. And then I still think we just do pretty good. Like you look across the board, it's like this guy's got this. All these people are fine. They're walling up. They're closing their bodies in the personal space of everyone. This defense here on this reset is really good. So they're not just running through us, right? They've thrown a bunch of passes and they're still kind of at the same level of the field. We're playing really good defense in this space. I think we're doing a great job. Gunner's going to give up a touch here just by overplaying the break side, right? So his player is making a move to the break side. Gunner's going to bite a little too hard on those break side throws, and that's going to get him turned to the force side. So I think that's like a good goal for most of us is to try to avoid over pursuing that break side and just getting page turned to the open side. But we're still in a really good spot, right? They haven't even crossed the midline. How many throws have they thrown? They're finally across the midline, and they just yeet the ball out of bounds. So I think that was really, really good defense. I thought we made them work really hard just to get the ball across the line, and I think they got impatient, and they just threw it out of bounds, and I think that's great. We're going to be in a zone here, and we do really good just to be patient against this zone. So we get first of all, great job just centering right off the bat. I think that makes a lot of sense, right? Just tap the disc in, center it. Good job by Bass, kind of moving them around. We're doing good, just moving side to side here. I think if I could go back to this side. So Bass, I agree with Bass, just, send the disc over there. But I think this still frame shows what I think the weakness of their zone is. So there is a spot right in here. theoretically, if Bass had held this disc, right? So Bass holds it and stares upfield. We've got AG just sitting right here in this space. And this, if all we do is focus on this right here, this looks a lot like three-person marking. And I will take Bass in three-person marking all day long. So if Bass had just caught this Frisbee, squared up, if AG just sits in this space, lets it be three-person marking, I would take Bass to break the mark with his forehand and just hit AG right in the gut in this spot every single time. But I agree with Bass to just keep the disc moving, make the defense, make zones run a lot. Same thing with Gunnar. Great job just moving the disc, keeping guys moving a lot. And we're being very patient. We're being very smart. I think when I look at this, I would like Bass to think about just a little low release backhand right in here to, whoops, I don't like that. A low release backhand to Wyatt just right in this space here if we could have. I think there's room for Bass to just say, hey, 1, 2, 3, this is just three-person marking. I'm super good at three-person marking. Let me beat this person and get the disc to Wyatt. And it would have, I also think the added benefit then, if we could somehow just like chuck this into Wyatt's stomach and then Wyatt has the wherewithal to just get it to AG, that's how we do kind of that jailbreak second level attack through a zone. But Bass is patient and we do a good job. So that's a good dishy here to Gunnar. Gunnar's going to throw a nice throw to Levi. And then right here is what I'm talking about. So Levi's going to get what I'm trying to describe. So if we just look at this right here, if we just look at Gunnar, this person, and Levi, this right here is just three-person marking, right? Well, it's a drill we've done all this time. I've seen every single one of you shred the mark in three-person marking. That's all that's happening right here, three-person marking. I think in a zone, sometimes you just want to let your thrower break the mark. Just sit in a space all by yourself, let your thrower break the mark. And that's exactly what's going to happen here. So Levi's going to just hit this. So what I need now from Gunnar is just the wherewithal to understand, hey, it's jailbreak time, and I have to turn quickly, and I have to try to find this hole. It also could help if AG steps into that hole and gives him a little bit of a window, right? So AG could kind of step here, and then Gunnar could just turn quickly and look, right? Just turn really fast and look at this hole and see if we can jailbreak it. Because if we get it to AG here, what's to stop us from then getting something to AK here, right? So that's kind of, to me, this is the vision of like, let's get through with quick turns, turn quickly with the disc, and let's see if we can get through that zone. But I think we turn a little slow, and I think we're playing what we see, right? We're not playing what we know. So Gunnar's going to catch this ball, slow turn, and he's trying to read the field, but he doesn't know that this hole is here. He's not looking and expecting this hole. He's just seeing what he sees, and he gets bumped, and that slows him down. But anyway, we're not able to get the jailbreak, and that kind of stinks. I think here's a good example where it's like, hey, let's just give Bass the opportunity to play three-person marking, right? Can we just get AK to stand right here in this hole, and then can we just have Bass low release flick, fire it right into AK's gut? I think that would have been a nice opportunity there. But we're still doing really good. We're throwing a lot of passes. We're not gaining a lot of yards, but we're being patient, right? We're not doing anything stupid, which is nice, right? That's step one. I think here AG is clearing out. I'm not sure that AG needs to clear out, right? What if AG just stands right here? And what if Bass just breaks his mark? What if this just is three-person marking, right? 1, 2, 3, three-person marking drill. How many times have we seen Bass roast people in three-person marking? Can we set our players up for that? Can AK get in front of this person, right? Instead of standing behind him, can you just step in front and kind of post up? Can we hit? I like that. I like what AG just did. Can we get this in there? Yes, we can. Can we turn it now, right? Can we get a throw from Levi to AK here through this window? Bass, I think, is gonna, that's a very nice throw from Bass. Let's look at it again. So this is, again, just kind of three-person marking right in the middle. I love that from AG. Can we turn some of these like break throws from Bass to the next level, right? If you catch it from Bass in this space, can you turn it and get it to AK? Or if you're over here, can you turn it and get it to Theo? I think eventually here Bass is just gonna throw something upside down, and that's gonna help open things up a lot. You know, the swinging is good and it's patient and I like it, and I'm glad we did it instead of turning the disc over. And that's a good spot from Bass, right? This is a really good throw from Seabass. That's a good read from Wyatt. There is a soft spot there. We did a good job. But I do think we could be more attacking, right? Rather than just passively swinging it back and forth. Can we get someone, even as Bass has it here, right? Can we get somebody to just stand right in this space and say, hey, Bass, just break the mark and hit me in the stomach, right? Just chuck it at me as hard as you can. Just all you have to do is beat this person. I'm standing right there all along. I think there's opportunities for us to be more aggressive and kind of bring it to the defense, right? Rather than passively swinging it back and forth all the time. I think this is a big missed opportunity. I think we need to hit Seabass here, right? Seabass might be drifting. Maybe it would be nice. Maybe AK would feel more comfortable if Seabass was kind of coming at him a little bit, taking that step. But I think this window is open. I think we have to get this one down. I think looking this off is what leads to the turnover eventually. The other thing about this turnover is I don't think, Levi's on the sideline here, right? So being on the sideline, half of this space is out of bounds. That makes it a little more challenging for AK. I think there's room for Levi to just step right here, and I think that allows AK to do his step through Brandon Mako backhand and just hit it to Levi. I think that would have been an easier window for AK, but instead we got to throw a really tough throw right on the sideline and pretty much out of bounds. Even if Levi had caught it, I think Levi's out of bounds there. And they call a timeout. This has been a grind of a point. We're already 3.5 minutes into the point. All right, I think let's see it quick. So the play is pretty simple. It's another one we've seen a lot out of Northeastern. They're going to roll this person out into that space. They're going to cut deep. This person's just filling. We're getting a break throw right off the bat. I think they are just centering the disc to this person. But this is a similar concept that Northeastern's shown us a bunch of the time. Person from the front is kind of rolling out, going deep. Person from the back is just attacking the other angle. I think we do really good to wall up there. I think that's a good challenge from Levi. I think Levi's got this space compressed the whole time, right? As you watch Levi here, he's ready to go. And as soon as this person makes the move, he's making the move too, right? So their legs are low, their hips are dropped, and they're moving. You can see Levi's dropped his hips, right knee is going. Good contest here from Levi taking that inside shoulder. I love the pressure. This is going to be really good defense from Theo here that I think we should all be watching. So Theo, look at how active Theo is, jumping around, getting his legs going, keeping his legs under him. So here he's turning his hips to be with the person, doing a little crossover track hunt footwork. He's not going to bite too hard on this little juke. Let me slow it down. Here's a juke that he doesn't bite too hard on, right? Look at how low he stays, right? His hips, his head, his shoulders, they're all lower than this person. This guy's trying to make a juke move on him. He just stays low, keeps his feet under him. Really good footwork out of Theo. Great lock up there. Really, really good defense from Theo. Let's watch it one last time just because it's good. So here's Theo. Keeps his feet under him, keeps his wits about him. Great defense from Theo. We're going to get some action here. That's going to be an injury. We're going to have to talk about it, get reset. Let's watch this defense from Austin Jin. So here he is. His person's pushing deep. He's doing that crossover stepping, that hunt footwork, and that allows him to break down and turn real smooth here, right? So his hips, instead of committing his hips this way, he was using that crossover footwork. That allowed a real smooth turn. Good defense from AG. And this is what we love about Gunner. So here Gunner's got his head to the disc. He's paying attention. You can see he's dropping his hips. He's getting a little active. And then Gunner makes a little poach D. So that's Gunner at his best. We need more of that kind of stuff from Gunner. And then this is just a clunker of a turnover. I think it's both of your fault. Levi can throw a better pass. Bass, I think you can bring that in. But we just don't, and that really stunk. And now I think we're just, we're going to struggle to get our wits about us, and they're going to run through us here. Boom. For the goal. So let's go back and see what happened with AG. Turnover happens. It looks like Gunner and AG are both trying to figure out what's happening. This person is going to pretty much go. They both decide not to pick up this person because they're not talking to each other. And then this person's got a free release to the end zone, and then it's way too late. So better communication could have helped there to pick up and make sure that the last person, the deepest person on offense, should be picked up first, and then we can slowly pick up people that are closer to the disc or people that are behind the disc. All right, D point number 8 that we have against Northeastern. Good hanging pull. This one's all the way back into deep into the end zone, and that's going to mess up Northeastern's timing here. So they're actually going to stutter a little longer than they want to. And then they're running a play that we've seen them run a few times now. So front of the stack, 5 is busting this way, and then he's going to cut deep. They're looking to get Dewberry to try to help on this move, and that should create a free release. So that's the goal of the play. But you'll see that we just lose a foot race right off the bat. So Dewberry's afraid of no easy buckets. So he's back shoulder. We just lose that foot race. And then as we trace through, Peter here working on the break side. We just never get to the force side of them again. We are force backhand, and we're just on the break side the whole way through of that move. But now we're doing pretty good. We wall up. We slow them down. We kind of get them into their next action. I think I would call this one left on the table. I think AAK has an angle there. I think we could have left our feet and safely gotten that block, but we don't get it. I really like the way that Dewberry is about to defend this. So he's letting his person get deep of him, but he's doing a good job of keeping his eye on the disc this whole way through. And he's using his body to kind of feel the person, right? So he's up in their personal space. If they tried to break down and turn, they would bump into Dewberry and see him. I really like the way Dewberry's head is in this scenario, right? So Dewberry immediately eyes to the disc, want to see it come out of their hands, put my body in the way of their cutback. I think that's really good out of Dewberry. I think we're about to see, as we watch Paul here, so Paul's person is already activated. They're bouncing and their knees are going, and Paul's just totally standing, walking. Maybe he's looking to think about helping Bass here, but we're just going to get beat way too soft, way too easy of a touch. And then this is one where we're going to get 3 defenders into the space, and we just can't bring it down. So there's another one we left on the table. I'll slow it down. We got to be a little more aggressive going in this ball, or we got to, I guess, talk to each other or get a better up call, or maybe we just get unlucky and then they score. But we for sure left a couple on the table there. Ninth D point against Northeastern. This one's also a slog, 5-minute point. What we're going to see from Northeastern is an action that I don't think they've shown us yet. So the stack setter, 5, the people in the front of the stack, 5, 4, and 3. So we're going to see from 5 and 4 some kind of split, and then 3 is coming down. So this is, it looks a lot like, a play that a lot of teams run to create a deep threat, right? Where the back goes here and this person goes here and this person goes deep. So it's the reverse zipper, right? So they're splitting the front of the stack, allowing 3 to just come in and get an easy touch, which ends up working, which does not end up working because we have a really good mark on here, very active mark, and they don't find that person. And we do a good job. So we've got them out of their first action, and we've got them on the force side here, right? We're forcing backhand. This is where we want them to be. And I think we're playing pretty good defense here. Bass could be a lot closer on this break side, but the disc is down and we're going to get a possession out of this. I think it's really smart, fine, to hit gunner there from Seabass. And then I think this is a great vision from Levi, great cut from Austin Jin. I think we just have to bring that in. That's a gut-wrenching drop right there. So we got to wake up a little sooner. So does Northeastern, right? That is just a stupid play. What I love about Levi picking the disc up on the sideline is that at stall 0, he just throws it to Seabass, right? So it's tempting to say, I'm going to pick it up and I'm going to stare, right? I'm going to stare this way just at the end zone for 6 stalls, and then eventually I'll hit Bass. But what I really love about Levi here is that just stall 0, let me just pick it up, get the disc off the line, get it to Bass, middle of the field, let's find an attack. This is really good from Gunner too. I kind of regret having Gunner call this timeout. I think he's got this throw, and in hindsight being 2020, it would have been nice to just put this ball up and see if we could get a goal out of it. But we call a timeout. So the vision out of the timeout is going to be, I just want Bass to make a move to the up line and get open, and I just want AK to go deep, and I just want to take a shot at the end zone. We're going to do a good job here. Bass is going to get open. Gunner's going to recognize it. I think as we watch this disc come out of Gunner's hand, it's just a little too wobbly. I think we could tighten that up. Bass does a good job boxing out. The guy fouls him, right? Bass gets his body in the way. This is an uncontested foul. So good job by Bass using the body. Good job by Gunner. I like that we just, I think there's a still frame here. Gunner just lays the ball out in front of Bass, right? Let Bass do the work. He's a big, strong body. He can box people out. Let him go run onto the disc. I think that's really smart. It's hard to get a block on somebody who's boxing you out. There's a pretty good chance that you're going to foul them, which is what happens here. I also love that our cutters are in the same spot as when the play started, right? It's easy as cutters to kind of freak out and start moving, but they're just holding their shape because they know what the play is, and we still want to get the action out of here. And I think that's really good ball. I like this ball. I'd like to see that ball again. I think Bass and AK could bring that down together next time. We're going to see Northeastern run the exact same play. I think when we see a play the first possession, there's a pretty good chance that they just run the exact same play again, because that's what they have called and that's what they all have in their head. So they can look at each other and they can be like, as called, as called. So I would say there's pretty high probability, if you're trying to guess what a play is, if they've shown it to you on the first possession and they come back to it later in the point, there's a pretty good chance they just use the same play again. So, which is what happens. So this is the reverse zipper. We can see the front 2 move, and they're going to hit the third here. But again, I think we do pretty good defense as we watch this from AK. This is, AK is stride for stride with this guy in their space. This is a good challenge on the outside wing. I like that from AK. That's really good work. I also really like this very active mark. I like that AK is being aggressive on his mark there. And we've walled up here, right? We got a call, but our defense is walled up, right? We've slowed them down. We got everybody in front of people. We're not getting scored on. We're not getting beat to the end zone. This is really good from Levi here that we could just watch this play out. Really simple. Levi's just in their space. Really nice turn from Levi. Gets back in their space. Really good job here from Levi. I mean, right now we're totally fine, right? Disc is on the trap side. They're at the midway line. We've got everybody, in people's personal spaces. We're playing pretty good defense here. We're making them throw a lot of throws. They're working really hard, and we're doing good. So here Bass is trying to take a look over his left shoulder. And I don't know the best way to draw this, but you can see that Bass's hips are pointed that way. I think it is possible for Bass to point his hips that way, and instead of looking over his left shoulder right now, he would look over his right shoulder, and that would allow him. So his hips would be here, right? So this would be his right hip, and this would be his left hip, and then he's going to look over his right shoulder that way. So just flipping his hips, I think you could then still see this person, and you could see the disc. But in this position, this person's just going to get on Bass's back, and we're just roasted. When you get on someone's back, you're toast. I wish we could see it, because Wyatt's just going to wall up on this person and give them absolutely nothing. We're totally locking in on the end zone set, and then great awareness from Paul. Just get that disc down. Great job by Wyatt. I don't know what you did there, but you took them out of it. I think this is a really good throw out of AG. I think this is a great cut out of AK. I like that the Frisbee, things that I like about this, right? So I like that the Frisbee goes to the middle of the end zone here. I would have been really upset if AG was like trying to pin the disc here on this sideline. I like that this Frisbee is relatively flat. I think the two of them can do better, and I think they will do better the next time. So Northeastern's run the same play twice. They're going to change something up. It's not going to be very complicated. Just have this person stand in the lane. I like that AK's playing on the back shoulder. Don't just get blown up deep. Risk there is that you get beat into this space. Love this defense that I see from Levi. So from the back of the stack, you can see Levi just be all over this person, break down right with them, get all up in their space. I think that's really good defense. They find a huck. It's not a very good huck. Bass is going to just hit Gunner here, which is really, really smart. I love the just like pick up and swing the disc. Gunner's got a cannon. Look, Gunner is telling me all the time, hey, Kevin, I can bomb flicks, right? So I think in this situation, like, can we get a deep cut here from somebody? Can we get Gunner throwing a flick hook to this space, right? Can we set Gunner up for success? I think it would have been really nice to give him an opportunity here. If I could, one thing that I like about this throw from Gunner, so this is, I think, a good example that we could all just quickly learn from. So here is Gunner releasing the disc, and he's throwing it out to here, and here Paul's making this move. So Gunner's throwing this Frisbee early. He's going to throw it really soft. He's going to put it out to space, and he's going to let Paul go do the work. I think a lot of throwers struggle with this. They feel like, oh, I've got to like throw this at Paul. I got to chuck it right at Paul. But Gunner's doing a good job here of throwing it for Paul, laying Paul out into space and let Paul help him out. I think that's great. Paul's going to throw a backhand huck here. The throw itself is pretty good, but I just don't feel like this is what I need from Paul. But I like that. I mean, it's flat. It's away from the sideline. AG just gets skied on. I like the result. So I think I can live with that. And then we wall up again. We play pretty good defense. And here we go. What is this? Like our fourth possession. I love that Bass just like hits the wide open person here in the middle of the field. Really good awareness by AG that no one's guarding him if we could back up. So here AG's person is moving to kind of help with whatever this deep space move is. So here we've got somebody attacking the deep space. AG's defender is going to go help. AG doesn't have to do a whole lot, right? He's going to be open right where he is. He could just kind of take a step towards Bass or just sit. But he does it. He just realizes, hey, no one's guarding me. Let me just stare at Bass, wait for Bass to chuck it at my face. Here we are in our end zone set. I think I see what Levi's looking at here. I would encourage Levi to throw this. I think this window is here. I think Levi could put this ball right out there and Paul could go run onto that. I think this is a really good throw from AK. What do I like about this throw? So small up lines can be really tough, really challenging. So here AK's releasing it. He's just going to lay it out into space, let Levi do all the work, right? So put it right out there, get the Frisbee spinning, lots of spin. It's really tempting for AK to probably just be like, oh, I have to throw it right at Levi here. I got to kind of just chuck it at Levi's stomach or face or something, but instead AK just lays this ball out into space. I really like that. That's good, smart throw, and then we finally get one home. So this is a good throw out of Levi, up and over the defense. This is a good attack cut from Gutter, and we get a break out of this. D point number 10 from the Northeastern game. We're going to run our 3-3-1 here, and it's going to go really well. So big things to notice against this 3-3-1 is they don't really try to chisel it. They're pump faking throws to the soft spot, but they aren't going to actually try to throw. No, there's no effort from them to chisel here, and here they're going to just get hand blocked trying to throw to the soft spot. So great active mark. Great going crazy by Nate. Huge block. Good awareness there by Peter. And then we do a really good job of just slowing it down and be patient. This is a pretty good end zone set in my opinion. Now we're going to get a call here. We're just playing end zone. We're just being smart. We're not throwing anything dumb. And we're running it correctly. It's working pretty good. This is going to be a great throw from Bass to LJ. I would love for LJ to try to hit this. He's turning over his left shoulder. I think if he had caught and turned over his right shoulder, maybe that's an awkward turn based on the way the ball hits him. But I think we all could do a better job of trying to hit this. You know, you don't have to throw it. There's a difference between trying to throw it at Theo here and saying, okay, I'm going to just like put it out here and let Theo go get it. I think we don't turn these quickly enough sometimes. But even as I watch this, it's pretty quick. It's a pretty quick turn. So maybe that's unrealistic. But we do good here. LJ does great to get open. This is a good little dishy. LJ does a good job here just letting Bass box his person out. Little soft touch. Let Bass do all the work. Don't try to shove it into Bass's stomach. And then we get a goal. And here we go, last D point that we have recorded of the Northeastern game. They're coming out in their vert stack, but we're throwing our 3-3-1 at them. We do a good job getting them out of their vert stack, and they just immediately go for the soft spot there. So that's the second time now. You know, the first time they threw a scoober into Nate's hand, and here the second time they're going to complete the attack to the soft spot. So I would say they are not looking to chisel against zones. They are looking to hit the soft spot against zones. And they do a good job of continuing this. We do a good job of walling up here. And I think in this moment we're fire. This is going to just be too soft, I think, from LJ. You can go back and watch it again. LJ's standing up tall here, just with his person. Would be nice to have our hips dropped, be ready to go. We're just going to lose a foot race. I think that's too soft of a touch. We can then watch Bana as he comes through. So Bana's working against somebody who just attacked deep. His head just trying to find the disc. He's standing up tall, and this is where he gets burned. His person drops their hips, makes a move, and Bana just kind of falls asleep. Jackson's going to do really well here. So Jackson gets really low, gets his legs active, walls up on this person, gets a touch on, closes the space, compresses them, does really well to stop them there. Theo's just going to over pursue to the break side. So this is the break side. We are forcing forehand here. And that's just too much pursuit to the break side. You're going to get spun. And then we are going to just get scored on here. So same thing, Peter. It would be nice if Peter could, here's Bana with his head trying to find the disc. It would be nice if Peter was doing the same thing, try to find the disc, know what's going on. We're just jogging. We're just very tall here. This person's dropping their hips, they're chopping their feet, breaking it down, and we're still we're caught off guard in this moment, right? We're standing tall, just jogging, falling asleep, and then we're just beat to the cone.